What is going on, everybody? Now, as I'm sure most of you probably know, the God of War series has been one of the most successful franchises in the history of PlayStation. It has spawned titles on the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and even the PSP. Now, my thoughts on the series is it has been pretty much hit or miss. Like, I remember playing the first game back when it came out in 2005, it's been 10 years since the first game, which is pretty crazy, but I remember playing that and I thought it was pretty decent. It did have its issues that I had a problem with, but it's nothing that could have been rectified with another game. I thought it was a pretty decent game, and I would have loved to have seen a sequel to it. Then I actually played the sequel, and it kind of felt more of the same. Like, they didn't really add much to it to make it differentiate from the first game, in my opinion. And I just didn't really get into it. So, after that, I just became disinterested in the series. And then they made the PSP games, which I never played, and I was like, man, they're just making a lot of God of War games. Like, a lot of them. Then the third game came out, and I saw a trailer for the third game. And I'll be honest, the third trailer made me really interested. Sorry about that, it's my phone. And then I was like, you know what? I'll get the third game. And I went to GameStop probably about a week after the third game came out, and I got it used. My thought being, you know what? If I like it, cool. If I don't like it, I can just return it in 7 days as per the GameStop used games policy. So, I played it, and I really liked the third game. I thought the third game was actually really good because they kept it simple, in my opinion. Like, they didn't try to do anything extremely different. They kind of cut down on a few things that I wasn't really into in the God of War games, and they basically kept all the things that I loved about the game. The brutality, the combat, and of course the graphics were really good. So, and the third game was supposed to be the end of the series. And the ending of the third game, if I remember correctly, and sorry, I have not played the third game in probably since the year it came out. I remember the ending being, okay, it's an actual end to the storyline, but at the same time, there's some unanswered questions. So it wasn't fully a cliffhanger, but it wasn't fully a definitive ending either. It was kind of both. But, to their credit, we did not see a God of War game for a little while after that. Then, I'm not sure if they made the second PSP game after that, but I did know they made a little game after that called God of War Ascension. God of War Ascension, which was essentially a prequel to the series. Which is kind of funny because the same month of that year, 2013, we had another prequel game come out, Gears of War Judgment, which was a prequel to a very successful franchise on the Xbox. And I did not play Ascension because I saw Ascension, I'm like, it looks more of the same, but it doesn't look as impressive as God of War 3, so I just never bothered with it. And I still haven't bothered with it. I do plan to pick it up eventually one day. I did play Gears of War Judgment. Sorry to go a little off topic, and wow, I was not impressed at all. It was pretty much, seems like they were just trying to do a cash-in. And that was kind of like the same thoughts that people had for Ascension. It seemed like it was just a cash-in. But I do remember when Ascension came out, I was like, man, Sony really, really, really wants to make God of War 4. I don't think they really... Now, after thinking about it, they really did not want to end the series because it was a successful franchise of theirs, and they want to make more games, of course, to make more money. And that's usually what you see some developers do when they make prequels and they make sequels that are in between two games and stuff like that. It's like they don't want to make a new game because they made you seem like the series was ended. Then I remember the PlayStation experience, and I remember talking with somebody on Twitter, and I remember him telling me they were wearing, the Sony people, some of them were wearing God of War shirts. And I remember thinking, okay, they might announce God of War 4 at the PlayStation experience. And they never did. But I've always remembered that. I always remembered that they were wearing God of War shirts. So, as I'm sure some of you may know with this recent news, that there's going to be a God of War 3 remastered edition. Now, this is not going to be a rant on remaster games, because I don't have a problem with most of them. And I've already talked about remaster games here on this channel, and HD collections and all that stuff. That's not what I'm making this video about. I'm making this video because I just see this being some type of foresight that Sony has, or some anticipation, so to speak. Because to me, this really seems like a cry for them that they really want to make God of War 4. That they really want to make God of War 4, so they're... It seems like that, and this is just a thought that popped in my head, maybe they're making this God of War 3 remaster, that maybe they are going to make God of War 4, and they want to make you prepared for that, so to speak, but... And maybe they'll do it. Maybe they will do it, but you know what? Just, Sony, if you want to make God of War 4, just do it. Just freaking do it. That is my advice to Sony. Because I don't know how they're going to do it with the way they ended 3, but you know what? If you want to do it, just do it. Don't try to do prequels. Don't try to do these in-between sequels. Don't do these HD collections. They've done like 3 or 4 different HD collections for the God of War games. Which is okay, but how many people at this point have not played every single game? It's not a lot of people. At least in my opinion. So, my advice to Sony is just do it. Just make God of War 4. I would like to see God of War on the PlayStation 4 to see what the game could, how the game could function and what it would look like on the newest PlayStation console. That'd be really cool. Maybe this God of War 3 remastered might do it. I don't know. I'm probably not going to pick up this game on launch, which is July 14th. I might get it when it goes down cheaper. And I definitely, if any of you guys have never played God of War 3 before, and you have a PS4, I definitely recommend it, because it is a really damn good game. It really is. But, and maybe, like I said, maybe Sony will do it at E3 this year. Maybe this will be one of their big announcements, but honestly, Sony, just do it. Just do it. Just get it over with, and then we'll just see what happens after that. But I'm tired of them playing around like this. I really am. So, alright. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you all next time. Have a good one.